In the second game of the MTN quarterfinals, we had Stellenbosch and TS Galaxy, and Stellenbosch beat TS Galaxy convincingly, to be honest, 3-1 to progress to the semi-finals. Now, instead of us really talking about the game and how beautiful that game was, because there was some really good football being played there, especially for the first game of the season, I do think it was kind of overshadowed by some of the circumstances of this game. For example, the pitch. The pitch was in a terrible condition. Yes, I do get it that South Africa, we are in winter. I'm pretty sure the season definitely contributes to how well the pitches are maintained. And yeah, winter doesn't help, but come on, this pitch is in a terrible condition. And Stellenbosch finished third last season in the DStv Premiership. The last season of the DST Premiership, Stellenbosch finished third, which means they will play CAF games. They will play CAF Confederation Cup games. So I understand that CAF has already said no to this pitch. They said that this pitch is not suitable for games to be played at that level. And I wonder why we couldn't maybe just schedule this game at the home of TX Galaxy if they have a better pitch. It's just as simple as that. I really don't understand when Stellenbosch are failing to provide the good or the minimum conditions to be able to play football. Why couldn't they just change the home team? So already it gave the TS Galaxy coach ammunition to fire at the PSL and to fire and give excuses. I'll say excuses in inverted commas because it is a reasonable excuse. It's a good enough excuse. You really can't play football on pitches like that. And he did fire and he said even cows can trip and fall. That's how bad the pitch was. So yes, Said Ramovic, he was really bold about his displeasure of the conditions of the pitch. And to be honest, for example, here's a Chelsea coach who Chelsea is already having a bad preseason and they're losing all the time, but he even says that even though things are not going as well as they should for Chelsea, it looks like it's an excuse, but it's actually not. For a team that actually tries to play football, if the pitch is not in condition, if the pitch is not in a good enough condition, it doesn't help. It really doesn't help. So yeah, it's not just an excuse. It's an excuse that every coach can use. Every team tries to play good football, and if that's your philosophy, you need good pitch conditions to do that, to pass the ball around, to move, for the ball to move effectively. You need a really good pitch. So it is a solid excuse. That was a terrible pitch by Stellenbosch. Like I said, although Stellenbosch are also playing on the same pitch, they are the home team and maybe they are familiar with the pitch, so it does give them a slight advantage. But to be honest, I do think Stellenbosch were much the better team. I think Galaxy started well, but then they faded out. It was a really open game. It was a cracking game. It was actually very entertaining, right? But I think Stellenbosch were the better team and they deserve to win the game. I think the scoreline, the 3-1, is fair. It actually represents the chances that Stellenbosch created throughout the game. I think TS Galaxy were also unlucky maybe not to get one back towards the end of the game, towards the latter parts of the game, because they were really piling on the pressure. But I think Stellenbosch really did enough to deserve to win that game. And lastly, what was extremely disappointing to see was the fans. The turnout was so horrible. The turnout was so bad. It was so bad. It's actually so embarrassing. I don't know what's going on in South African football. Guys, let's go to the stadiums. Let's support our teams. Yes, the night before, Orlando Stadium was full, but is it only going to be when Chiefs, Pirates and Sundowns play that the stadiums will be full? Come on. Literally, look at that stadium. It was only one row that was filled. Basically, less than 25% of the stadium. The stadium still probably had more than 75% capacity. Here you have players celebrating at the corner flag and there is literally no one there. The turnout was so poor. Stellenbosch, you have to do better. You have to do better. You have to support your own teams, especially local teams. Guys, go out there and support your teams. I don't know if it's because it's a technological age that we're watching football on TV or on our phones. No, we have to go to the stadium. We have to do better this season. And teams make money through ticket sales. Now you want your team to buy a good player, but they can't afford it because you're not helping them generate any income whatsoever. You have to play your part as well. Provide them support, and obviously fans are important for supporting their teams. Fans give you are called the 12th man for a reason. Let's support our teams. Let's get back to what we used to be as South African football. It used to be a day where people braai, people get excited to go to the stadium. It's a whole event. Transport is full. There's traffic. It's a quarterfinal, MTN8 quarterfinal. It's not just like a random game in the middle of the season that, it's between number 13 and number 12 where you're playing for nothing. No, this is a quarterfinal, MTN8. So let's support our teams. If we don't support our own teams, who will? And if we want our teams to do well and, grow, how are we going to expect them to grow if no one is supporting them? But that's my piece on it. I hope you enjoyed the game. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.